Alright guys, so I'm going to get started doing this front suspension. There's the lowers and the new uppers and the shocks we will be installing. This car has the diesel springs in it according to the guy I got it from, so we're going to be using those. First thing I'm going to do is jack the car up and go from there. Alright, so we got it in the air, and I sprayed some good old PB blaster on all of the nuts and bolts that I could reach. And we are going to get these wheels off and get started. So we got everything PB blastered that I could reach. I'm gonna start by taking out this caliper, and then I'm probably going to undo this sway bar that connects right down here, and probably work on unbolting the steering knuckle, and the driving, the steering linkage. I don't know what the name of that is, but take this guy off and then go from there. I will update you guys as I get some progress going. All right, boys and girls, it is officially out, and I didn't really even break anything. I snapped off a couple little plastic pieces, but for the most part, it came out in one piece. Man, I don't know how much it weighs. Probably like, it's probably a good 15 pounds or so. And I'm just going to, first of all, I'm not going to worry about this part right here, sealing up the cowl or whatever. And this, I'll just get a plate from work. Like this is an example of what I just have laying around my shop. So this is just a piece of plastic. So I'll get the rough shape, the piece of cardboard or something, and mark the holes, and then I'll just cut a piece of plastic out, lay down some silicone or something, and cover that hole up. No big deal. Now I have free access to all of this. Alright, well, just thought I'd update you real quick. I'm probably gonna drink some coffee and take a little break. That was a little bit of work. It didn't take too long, but it was definitely a little bit of work. So, alright guys, next up, I will get refocused on what I started out doing, and it's doing the suspension. Alright, to show you what progress I made. So I got the upper A-arm out. It was actually not too bad. I just had to undo the nuts on this side, and then I could just kind of slide it out and bring it up and out. I tried to take the spring out without using spring compressors, and the shock got binded up inside of that, and I fought it for probably 3 hours, not even exaggerating. So I am super tired, probably gonna take a break until tomorrow. I still need to break this ball joint loose somehow. Not exactly sure how I'm gonna do that. The ball joint separator wasn't doing the trick. That's where we're at. So I just wanted to update you real quick. I'll update you guys whenever I have something else going on. Alright guys, well I got the lower control arm out. I took a little break, watched a movie, and felt like working on it again, so I got it out. I'm comparing it now to the new one here, and it doesn't look that much different as far as what the install height's going to be It looks like it might be an actual drop of an inch or so. Just looking at the height of where the ball joints are. And I got a tape measure out, and it was about an inch. It might be 3 inches for the S10s, but about an inch for the G bodies. So I went ahead and pulled out my lowering springs that I had. Oh, man, if I can get it to stand up. Here, I'll just do this for now. Versus what was in there. These are really low comparatively. It's about a 2 coils difference. I guess about a coil and a half. So I'm trying to decide which ones I'm going to install. The guy I got it from, like I said earlier, he's just referred to them as diesel springs. I'm guessing he was talking about the 350 diesel. I don't know. He said that he put in different springs because when he put in the big block it was sagging some. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in. These might be easier. I don't know though. We'll see. I'm gonna think about it here for a minute, and I'll definitely let you know when I make my decision. I just wanted to kind of show you what the stock A-arms look like versus the new ones, and I don't think it's going to be a 3-inch difference. I think it will be a little bit lower, but we will see here for sure. All right, well, I'm going to stop babbling, and I'll turn the camera back on when I have some progress. Just thought I'd show you a side-by-side comparison of the new A-arms versus the old ones. They look exactly the same to me, so that's what it is. Alright guys, let me throw this in here. Alright, so it's the next day and we got our upper A-arm installed, and we also went ahead and bolted it and torqued our upper ball joint to our spindle. I looked up the specs real quick. It looked like it was 62 foot-pounds, so I got my trusty torque wrench out and torqued it. And now it's time to put a cotter pin in there. So between these two things, I should be able to get that done. Just thought I'd update you real quick. Alright, see you guys in a minute. I was getting ready to install these lower control arms, and then I remembered that I had some grease fittings I had to install. Reading the instructions, it says use an 1/8 inch drill bit and drill through the bushings and sleeves of the grease fittings and carefully thread in the grease fittings. So there's a threaded hole here on both sides, and it wants me to drill through the bushing and the sleeve. So I'm about to do that with my fancy Black & Decker Ross Dress for Less drill bits. I do have a 1/8 inch one guy in there. So just wanted to show you guys, if you're doing this install, you're gonna have to do that. All right. Okay, we got our holes drilled and the fittings are in there. It was an 8mm hex on there. Okay, so I'm gonna keep trudging along, get this guy on there. I already got my spring compressed. I used the inside spring compressor. We'll see how it goes, and we'll start getting this bolted back together. Alright guys, we got our bottom bolts in but not tightened up, and I've got my spring compressor on this guy. I got a new shock isolator to go on top. This is the part number. It's a Moog K160044. I got it at Advanced Auto Parts. They're gonna say it doesn't fit your vehicle, but don't let them lie to you, it does. So here's my idea. I am going to have to use like 15 hands, and I'm going to kind of grab this coil, hold it up in here, and then lift this guy up to meet it, hopefully. And then I will use the jack to lift it up to bolt the ball joint up through the spindle. So that's the plan. Let's see how it goes. I'm not so sure. It could be a total cluster, probably will be. Oh, also a little tip. I'm going to use some electrical tape to hold the shock isolator in place. So it's one less thing I have to worry about. Just going to kind of wrap it around the coil. Alright guys. Got it in and torqued. The torque spec I found for this was 83 foot-pounds, so that's what I put it at. Thank goodness that I had a correct ratcheting wrench to fit through here. Fit through the coil to get onto my spring compressor, because I can't get quite the right angle to come from underneath to get it. So I need to get the spring compressor out and then hook back up the sway bar if I can get it to line up, and then hook up the, I guess it's the tie rod into the, oh man, I can't ever think of this thing, the spindle. And then put the brake components back on. I probably will take a break and go buy some grease to grease the spindle, because I don't think that I have any. Put the shock in, and this side will be done. Alright guys, let me get to work. One side is officially done. Oh, I do have to go back and tighten those bolts. I forgot about those. Gotta tighten them. The shock is in totally. The sway bar arm is tightened totally. The tie rod end is tightened totally. Calipers on totally. I want to recheck the bolts for the upper A-arm and the lower A-arm. Definitely need to be tightened. So that's where we're at. I decided to go with the stock springs because everywhere I read you're really supposed to use stock springs on these. So that's what I did. I'm going to take a break for a little bit and then tackle the other side. Hopefully I can get it done before Game of Thrones tonight. Alright guys, let's check in a little bit. A couple of minor setbacks have happened. So I moved over to the other side and the exhaust was in the way of one of the A-arm bolts. So of course, when removing it, the bolts broke off on both of them, which would be a total disaster if we weren't already going to pull this motor out anyway. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Man, this like bee is attacking the shit out of me. But we're gonna be pulling the motor out. It's on the other side, but to give you an idea, right here is where it busted off. So whatever, we'll deal with that when we get the motor out. And I'm having a hard time busting these lugs loose with my impact, so I'm gonna have to set it on the ground to check out the ride height. Sorry, we're going to set it on the ground to bust them off, bust them loose, and while we're doing that, we'll be able to check out the ride height. So it's not all for nothing. Okay, so let's see if it's any lower. Oh yeah, I think it's definitely lower. So I guess we don't have to guess, we can get a tape measure and see. It is sitting at 25 inches on this side. And on this side, it is at 25 inches. So, yeah, it did not lower it at all. That's a little disappointing. I'm going to get this out of the way. Let's see what happens. So that was supposed to lower it 3 inches, and it didn't lower it at all. But now we know it's a direct replacement. May not be a lowering A-arm, but it's a direct replacement. So, whew, man, I kind of want to put my lowering springs in now. I've discovered that. I may end up doing that. But we'll see. Anyway, I just wanted to update you guys with a couple of little disasters that happened. One semi-disaster with the bolts breaking off. But I mean, that's to be expected. I knew that whenever I started that was most likely going to be the result. And then I had to set it on the ground to bust to nuts loose on the wheel. I'll update you guys here when I have something else going on. Alright guys, I don't think I'm going to do anything more this weekend. It's Sunday, it's like 5 o'clock. Got the job half done. We're going to call that a win. I put the tape measure on it again, and it settled some. It looks like it was a 1-inch drop, which these could have been about a 3-inch drop, but those springs that the shocks that I bought kind of were supposed to level out the ride on an S10. So it brought it down 1 inch, which is exactly the drop I wanted. So I guess I accidentally got the exact ride height I wanted by just guessing. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for thumbs upping. This is going to be part 1 of 2. I'll go ahead and get it posted for you guys, and we'll just keep trekking along on this project. Alright guys, look forward to seeing you next time.